Hi! On the last video I showed the process of trying to design a jig to make this wood star puzzle. But first I want to explain why this object is quite complicated to produce and why, from my point of view, this project got way out of control. I mean, even the mathematical name of this object is so complicated that I asked Google Translate to read the name for me.
First, elation of rhombic dodecahedron.
So to explain a bit why this project is so complicated, I have here 6 identical pieces. I have here 6 identical pieces, which when they connect they form this star. On each piece there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. I can control 1, 2, 3, 4 faces with only one stopper on my jig. The issue is that the tolerance here is crucial. So let's say I've connected this star like so, and it's just a bit too tight, and I want a bit more loose. So what I'll need to do is to remove some material from each of these faces. Now, as I said, I can control these faces with one stopper on the jig. The problem is, let's say I have a fine-tuning mechanism in the jig that is accurate as much as 0.1 millimeters, and I want to remove 0.1 millimeters from each face. That's fine, but the problem is that since I have 6 pieces that they all contact together, they all collide together, I need to double the 0.1 millimeters by 4 and then by 6, because I have 4 faces on each one and 6 pieces total. So each 0.1 millimeter will sum up to 2.4 millimeters, which is actually a lot, and it will make it much more tight or much more loose, and it won't work. So the accuracy that is needed here and the tolerance is so high in such a small object, it's not an easy task. Another example, this star is so tight that I'm pretty sure I can't get it, I can't disassemble it. It's too tight. Whew.
Okay, enough talking, back to the workshop. First stage would be to make a lot of blanks, and I'll give a minute to explain why I need so many blanks. Every star needs 6 identical pieces. Now, let's say you made the first try and it came up too tight. Then you need to make another 6 pieces, and you can't just check them with only one piece. You need, or even 2 pieces. You need all the 6 pieces to check how it assembles. And if it doesn't work, you need to do it all over again with fine-tuning every time. And since the fine-tuning is so delicate, you find yourself doing it back and forth again and again. And at the fourth time, when you actually feel that you got it, that's usually the time that you ran out of blanks and you need to make another batch of new blanks, 1 millimeter thicker or thinner. So all the setup that you arranged already is useless, because the setup was good for a certain size, and now the size is a bit different. All the setup needs to be done all over again. Now that I have enough blanks, I connect the jig to the table saw. I tilt the blade to 45 degrees. And I connect the jig. First stage would be to make the outer cuts to get the general shape that is needed. Now, in order to make the inner cuts, I need to change the blade height and to adjust the jig accordingly to move it to the middle. I use the same stoppers to do all the 4 cuts for the inner shape. I decided to add a stop that will help me not to go all the way every time when it's not necessary. I connected the stopper with an object called mag jig, which is used to connect jigs to a metal base. So after making about 20 wood stars, after 4 different versions of the jig, I think I'm ready to build the final jig that will fix all the problems that I had till now. You can see the final jig in the last video on this series.